So the thing that I'll be reading actually at the thing is sort of a angry letter to leaving and loss. But you got some throw in some comedy sounds, and it's definitely not serious.
Hear that one?
Yeah, some da-dum-dums. Da-dum-dums. There we go.
An angry letter at love lost. Right. Or an angry letter just lost, I guess.
At the personification of leaving. Leaving is a person, and that person has pissed me off. There we go. And coincidentally, this first one is called Everything Leaves. It fits right in with the theme, even though it's 5 years old. Everything leaves. Trains leave stations. Leaves leave trees. Grasshoppers leave gravity and the hallucinatory safety of tall grass. Time leaves yesterday. Passing leaves the past. Light bulbs leave electricity. Cocky poets leave copies of their little chapbooks inside my Soylent Green bag during parties when I'm not looking. Dogs leave their own shit shat in the middle of the room because they're either assholes or they're feeling ignored. Katies leave Perrys. Dinosaurs leave their own life-sized x-rays, where they're either dug up and tossed into Denver museums or left where the leaving took place, buried in ground. Grand Mos. Pardidicium. Make up your own Latin.com. Mustard leaves stains. Stains leave sloppy impressions when you haven't gone out on a date with a girl in 2.5 years and you're out wandering around by yourself, wondering how people manage to meet these days without screaming. I have no idea how this works anymore. In the days mustard has come with you, riding sidecar like a Big Bird cum stain on a noticeable corner of your t-shirt. Big Bird leaves shoe stores disappointed. Ernie leaves Ernie for Bert. Bukowski's poems leave long shadows. Long shadows leave me an excuse to make some crack about candlelight, foregrounding my penis and the vast silhouetting of walls. Leaking leaves lakes. Lakes leave running water. Actors leave stunt doubles. Death leaves holes. Everything that I ever saw today leaves me feeling like I've been sponsored by one big goddamn infomercial. The Love Boat leaves unrealistic impressions about sea travel. Travel could not exist without leaving. Without leaving, people wouldn't call it travel, they'd just call it staying home. Sleep leaves me alone tonight with the cat, where I sit here writing about plumbing. Everything leaves but the lost. It's one of them that's not specifically about incidents. Those probably don't hold up too well.
That was a train sample, right home. And,
Yeah.
You said trains leave stations.
Right.
I'm like, are you serious?
This one's called Leave a Message. It's amazing how many I'm finding with leave in the title. There, it starts with a phone dialing, so that's perfect. Yeah, that's. Leave a message. If you've recently taken a tomato to the nuts and blame Cameron Diaz mostly for your loss of faith in romantic comedies as of late, press 1, and then pound, and then 1. If you'd like to listen to a sample of the new song No More Whorin' for Johnny Cash, press 2. If you'd like to mock Helen's new boyfriend with his super long red shorts and little tennis ball boner, press or say 3. I'm sorry, your last request could not be understood. If you feel suspicious looking, keep a bottle of chloroform and a bunch of duct tape in the trunk of your car, and when spoken to, talk softly in a Jeff Bridges tight lisp. And when people ask what you do these days, tell them that you write Karate Kid fan fiction for a living. Because shit, Helen, your love is like cauliflower, all blood drained and clumpy and not delicious. I'd always thought we were pizza, but your unfaithful pork toppings had to roll over and fuck all that up. Instead of pizza, our love was just a bag of Skittles, which you devoured one night while watching the French Open when you were stoned. In tennis, love means nothing. It means you haven't scored yet. Helen, you loved me like tennis. Love equals nothing equals love. The other night I was multitasking. I was missing you and also reading fan comments posted on a free internet porn site. Some guy calling himself Anonymous wrote, "I come all over myself watching it." And underneath that was a note from the website's owner asking that the general public report inappropriate comments. And I got confused, Helen, because we now live in a world in which you've left me. And you know, what's more inappropriate than that? Is it bad manners to say I come all over myself watching it, when the dude's watching it is a woman with falsely inflated breasts bending over a bright green riding lawnmower, taking it up the behind hole from a man wearing an American flag mullet, while some dude with an old McCain for President bumper sticker strapped to his ass does his best to mutilate the poor woman's vocal cords, fucking her full mouth sideways using the ridiculously large elephant cock that has somehow replaced his normal sized dick? Is it inappropriate these days? I come all over myself watching it? I just don't know. I mean, your call is important here. If you find yourself miserable to the point where your misery has literally shit its own glee pants, thus rendering them reeking and good mood producingly useless, press or say 4. Or let me speak to an operator already, or somebody. Somebody talk to me. What is exactly over here? The aftermath is a full-body nosebleed. It's the thing you loved most punching you in the face hard and walking away while you stand there, bleeding, wondering how the hell it all went wrong.
So it's just a long thing, and I can stop or take out sections, but probably I would think 15, 20 minutes.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay, and so there were first two lines got in here from a song. I mean, I didn't realize it, but then a song that I'd written. So then I thought, or I just thought actually, this is a simple kind of country song, but I thought it could get warped as it goes along, and I don't think I can't carry a tune. So unless I had a guitar, I couldn't give you the melody as it is, probably with just my voice. But maybe that's okay. I could just do my off-key singing.
Yeah. No, that'll work. Yeah.
All right.
So sometimes the melodies are more simple.
Right.
Perfectly.
Yeah. So feel free to make this. So I thought maybe to try this song, since the first two lines of the poem come from the first two lines of the song, and then see what it may be too much song, given this its structure being this kind of country folk thing, but that could be short. So that's why we're rehearsing, right? So yeah, but feel free to warp it, or play with it yourselves too. You don't have to respect the genre. In fact, I don't think that's a good idea. Oh, really? Oh, good. Okay, well maybe a little of that. Okay. Do you play steel guitar too? No. Okay, but the whole thing is called Turnaround, and there are points in the poem that, after there's a number of verses, maybe 8 or so, and then there's this gap, and I say turnaround. And that also might be a little over the top.
No,
But I like to try it.
top
But
is
it's a
good.
cue for you too.
Over the top is
It's
still
another segment, and then there'll be a turnaround and another segment.
Okay. No, that's good. I like that. Yeah. Like the last time you did, I remember you did the.
But we just have to hit it.
sequences,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah,
like
as long
a
as we
switch in
hit,
between.
Yeah.
we hear it, then hopefully we'll change.
Right. Okay. Okay. So turnaround.
We can't change from nothing.
Right. That's all we got. That's all we ever do. Daylight built its Photoshop in summer's drunk saloon. In the heat, mind dissolves into a liquid swoon. Quiet as the elements cook an early haze, vaporizing suddenly, no one to complain. See it all as solid, see it paper thin, see it through the steam that forms these bodies we live in. Turnaround. Daylight builds its Photoshop in summer's drunk saloon. On this particular bottom of the world, a chance to cheer. Little specks of dust pushed rise, a story from its time of being born. Keep the clock clean as it chunks. Unkempt, sogged with plenty in the fields, start to finish. Captivating stores and stars for easy letdown into Monday. Pagosa Springs. The lion's share a corresponding dream. 823, keeping air clear of static variants and their bolts. One ear on the other, sparks, a rose dish suppliant. Whose whose behalf? It turns and whispers braided hopes. It tingles in the aspens. Left alone as costs accrue, will violence ensue? Let's see what's hatching out en route after the conspicuous passes by. A mirror on a box. A means is not a core, nor core a means. On transport day, roaming, shadows on the concrete, not yet filling the deep trench. The sun drops, all of life knows angst somehow survives. You want something else to taste beside the temporal, a quality not masculine or feminine, transparent, not a wall of jaw that signals transport day. Cameras roll, shadows on the hull, embracing Magdalena, shorefoot girl heading off for other waters. Hand drawn, she will enter when the silt is full. Ancient boards holding back the banks give way, a rolling main. Can't be long for the surface now. Turn around. You're on the whipping plain where all those bison haven't been. Lights out, listening in stillness, a pack of wolves among the willows. Instincts leap in snow. Comes up short in the translation, but gives the picture. Old growth, ever new. Stains, strains, bowed, holding the abdomen and letting go of arms. Elbow, wrist, and fingers now lift earth from hips and knees. Unspooled tendons rake the gravel. Shirtless, park future deliveries further underground, where dust can't get them. You were merciless. Teeth ripping the eraser, a new plant essence for the current cure. Madness begins to settle. Others don't seem right. A crowd can move these barricades. A leaf was never only what it cast. Insufficient funds, the doctors say. Left some pages dog-eared on the desk. Somewhere between a yip and yowl ran the diagnosis. No known plans. Sometimes this confusion, sometimes pleasure, sometimes mounting, sometimes leisure. Now the tanks keep rolling. Yesterday's blockade is cleared. Small futures tapped and bubbling. Big if you start to think of it. Sitting at the table with a cell phone, black and white, the dispossessed. You have to keep that quiet here, my friend. I can't undo exactly the present as it's been transcribed. A waste of time, disordered bunches. How about that lady looking back on chances, chuckling as a rabbit fills its cheeks? One day off the needle, a record player, decibels of snow. Matrix of the virus, full of feeling for the front, imaged innovation. Enjoy your time, she whispers to the cookies on the sheet. And we will do our best to keep you safe from gross deception and release you when the time is up. Each mistake doesn't need a headline on a beach with snow and trees and rocks and sky and wind. A few miles out and back. Boy and girl, good posture, additional relics, not many left. Every machine doesn't need a human, though it might feel empty. No point of penetration. Where is it? Both sides. When will something finished be? Not on the escalator, only up and down. crossed. The turnaround is sensed, but far away, short in a world's sleight of sky. Now, long trees on a train, ice on teeth, a short ice thing, once a knife to cut air quickly. Threads of cloth banked in earth, this way, warm is cold. The words unwind around the neck, how to lie simply under cover, everything together. She to he, it was or wasn't. Snow on the Capitol, past the hitch. The neck, how stiff or strained, even with the brain stem no longer feeding eyes. Who brought her to this orbit? One feels a corner of its face. The board who said they knew some people, Marion and James, without a story, moved as needed, placed an instant lever. Sand remodeled, cool, gray. Simpler state of stories no one's taken, just the aftermath shoveled into suns. No turning now, jump ahead, ever-changing whims. You mark the difference. None a brighter shaker in the trees. Limbs and feathers falling, living back and forth. A mind straw broken, heart alive. Love without turning it on or throwing it back. Nothing to be afraid of. Nothing is a sign. Oh yes, the telephone. A scale the dog slept through. Rough breathing, little jerks. Settled now for inquiry in how to get there. His turnaround. Through 5 states, a single story. You might be alone one morning, wind threatening to take the dust, swishes the beaded curtain behind the counter. Clouds stuck, lowered sky, stops at nothing in the unarrangement, wild on the wash line. Detail as the floor moves, you say nothing is declared beyond movement. Surefire, 1, 2, 3, day before the lunar year, old March dies. Not so fast, cold air stays, dog goes out, spins around, jumps back into bed, snow covering the trees. It weighs so much, branches crack, dropping in the street. You've heard before. Just when you thought you'd made it through, bang, the door slams. 3 days more, snow breaks through the ice. A turnaround. What's included in the songbush? Taken up has taken hold. Air beneath the branches, flash again, each its own, pages overlapping, layers. You've got your window there, and I one here across the world, deflecting. Many upright or a deer hold come to mark the evening. Fascination every time, left or right, close enough, never all in this. The place a point to stay in overnight. Half in woods, no state to keep the one behind, like word for something come and gone, like nowhere is. Who knew the clarity would be so? Everyone a spark, backdrop always out, and eyes a shadow catching up. One stands between. Grass grows. Motion in a hand, the hand a face of recognition. She had topics, everyone wondered. Some expressed, bird whistle, spaces, afternoon. What's left? A look back. Too much, red hat, including sleep. I'll go on, sure, what to find kept close. What for? Walking and sitting on a bank of earth. What else? rumbling, motor rushing now. A break against the sequel on a jet plane, unerased, through all the blue, round, undeveloped, climbing over years. Unfree mark. Turn around. We pick up on the smell, crawling. So it's going to be that kind of way down into any buffer zone without a nickel or a knife. And well, it is older in the stream, born from what remains, a place to be so many derelict hills, far from lakes. Gotta get up and drive a nail in the crib. Preparation an end in itself, a precipice, renouncing movement. One is to believe any formation arrived, a junction every time, breath, a lowered sky. Wow, already come to be this fly or that rock, or concatenation of sense percolating through the rain, a lack of words, all symptoms evanescing. Ruffled up, ironed out, the cloth of senses settled, leadened there, full of holes, bubbling. She has the circle, if I'd only look. You can say a cake is born in sky, arrives, it dries, and in a few hours blows away. Conversations between mouthfuls, always on the way. What is not born in sky? Was earth not born there? I know these are more words than sense, and bear in mind they were not born in sky or on an escalator, but like shadows in the sun, they turn around. What kind of place would you like to lie down in? One with possibilities for a turnaround? Everybody likes to be included. You rub your eyes, the world's included. A yellow jacket walking off the table. A flicker glides, wing feathers flared for landing. Peck slim twice and flies away. You're all that's left after light has made its flanges not quite buzzing. A corner lifted, given the chance to move along, rain on leaves, the lawn. How much you use, how much you've been accustomed to enter. Stay while there's a saddle, till so much hits, it turns around. Slim rise in vision, they've got things to say, too quick for sight to stay on top of. Believe or disbelieve, wonder at the slow feet moving on, a music of their own, fresh the way it comes, now gone away. We wake and couple in the air, and now bear down, give birth. Stop heads, a pretty face, the doctor's eyes above the mask. Have you seen this image? Does it seem to hold its vision? Turn around. Weeds grow. Seeing them from eyes, from everyone's rolling out of bed's view that's got a feeling they can't be as dew dries, full of silence. Here's a change in arms, here is breath for being, here's a bottom to sit down on, what you can. Overcast, whatever's left mind fills blanks. She jumps and leaves, the picture clear, quiet. What others are conceiving, they are coming, no doubt. Go and eat before you lose the door. They are coming, no doubt. How ready will you be all together in this fog? You were riding before, somewhere in between, a weed and time without a home, lifting yourself off, seen from below, above, or straight gazed at, the dream, the eye, and half imagine you reading this, the start of some kind in its clothes. Keep pressing toward the mainstream. What is to be tired of? Who loves to talk? One day and the next, this turnaround. A lone calf, live coal, eye of monster, whole thing an advisor to the coach, among players, each of us. And when the mirror's empty, where that hat was, a frozen fish, something in reality not really sticking to its content, not filtered through a lust or name call with resentment, but sandwiched in between where itself can't quite be born. Not a dry eye. What is trying to come out of you? Is it me? Like rain passing through the night, a wet cloud shrouding trees, addressed from less to more, in the throat a heart stuck where it went on break from what could handle it. No way to say utterly. Plain fields, undertake what's undertaken. Visit Earth's change, slowly into shadow with no billing, calling up the depth. To keep balance, among others, is there a course? How was there ever a way to keep from slowing too fast to believe along a summer road where the birds stop singing? Close in thunder keeps things geared but portable. Everything about it's overcast, layered, three stalks, clouds, wringing dry, lined ladle serving it up. How will it come about? There, you can't have it. Back end of the wave, born. Fingers already letting go. Positions to be in. Breeze over earth. Mammals in and out of water. Fur dripping through branches. Faith in their path. Its turnaround. I recollect. The moon came up. Your night of nights. Most of the world disappeared. Came back more or less. I can't help it if I've had these thoughts a million times before, but don't remember dying as they come. By thoughts I mean buckets in the grass, a gold dog, hawthorn shovel and spare tire against the shed. Eyes look up and out to shoulders of the hills, old burn, telephone line, breezes blowing. You have a place within it on the earth. You have to see it shaking in the air. It breathes, sighs, curls, and sleeps. Rocks chiming, how they sound against translation. Chamber, drone, percussive, back and forth, occulting terms or nodding distribution. Mystery how it goes, trading melodies in the breakup of the ways of coming out. You want to tie the moon to a tree, eye for an exit. Flexible face of the rabbit looking up as if there might be something cooking. Lowered eyes. hour, mid-afternoon. One bent scrub oak trunk supports another. Coolers in the shade, you live in heaven's garden. Round the trailer, up into the aspens, painting light. They grow in single trunks until a few feet from the top, branches crowned with leaves. She holds a palette spatula up and out, thumbing it for scale. It's her 80th birthday. Painting in the woods, her easel feeling ground, filling in hill behind trees, a fog lifting off. Half out of the woods, some state of coming keeps this one trying to catch up. Words like coming and going at once, you try. Strange, half out of your mind, clarity speaks. Like shadows following. In a contemplation garden behind the Presbyterian Church in Fairplay, Colorado, a plaque reads, "May we move beyond viewing this life only through a frame. You are coming home, wondering where you've been. The rain stops, doves, clouds brighten, finch on birdbath. One way or another, the era's over. Shovel it out, make it available, tap the end of what the blue erases until another song to be." Thank you. That was great. Really fun to hear. Well done. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I was really trying to change our
You don't know. That's
No, you don't know. I know you don't know, but
I was just every time you hit higher turnaround, I was just like, okay, trying to do blank slate.
yeah, and I should have paused longer at that point, letting the music find some.
The whole thing carries through too. That all helps with the energy.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I think it's just a few more beats to allow you to get something, get to something. It's nice to hear, just
It's
for
like
one thing.
Rhythm Association. It really will.
Yeah, they may
no
make
matter what, it'll
themselves.
work if we
Yeah.
do it the whole
Yeah.
time.
Oh my God. No. When we do it at the show now, it's gonna be like, yeah, like the last time we did it with the
Right,
things
so
and stuff,
different.
Yeah, like it is so yeah.
Yeah,
I remember like yeah, no, we'll go with it. Okay, at that point we're doing something.
yeah, yeah. Good.
It's like, yeah, if we kind of just hold something together while you're doing something.
Yeah. Well, it's enjoyable for me too to hear, and just hear this. The time where I'm not reading is nice time. Good time.
Yeah, we like both get a little for sure. Like sometimes the silence is panic.
Yeah.
Playing or speaking.
Right. But this is like the dance part of this is probably the thing to the most high lit part for anybody. Anyway, it's great what you do. I don't know.
yeah, that was an adventure. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah, I like the way you said like the dance of it. Yeah.
Can I try one more thing?
Oh yeah, please. Yeah, I was just gonna ask you.
I want to do just see what's just reading a couple short ones together. Sounds like two. I gotta, because this thing ends with a dolphin thing. So can you play like old '70s Black Sabbath metal as if you're underwater?
That's probably what this whole pedal board is.
Right, exactly. That's what I was kind of like. They can pull
But
that
yet
up.
somehow I won't.
They can pull that up.
Chris can channel Randy Rhoads or something.
Right. I just watched that documentary not too long ago. The new one.
I hope he didn't drown. I don't think he drowned. I think he died.
Randy?
Yeah, it was
Plane crash. Yeah.
Total opposite.
He drowned it on airplane parts.
Oh wait, it crashed in the water.
He was on tour and he hopped in a plane and they were buzzing Ozzy's tour bus and it went down.
Just messing around.
He was in his like 26, 27, 28. Just at his peak. But the world took Randy and then they gave us Jakey Lee, my guitar hero. So when one plane crashes, another plane doesn't crash for a while. Until Ozzy fires him, and then we're stuck with Zach Wilde. Every time the diminished fifth is struck. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. With you. Using only my orgasms, I learned how to write our names in the snow. Love is that thing. Love is that thing that always seems to cost just a little more than $2 when all you've got is a couple of bucks. Zen poem number 2. The mealworms know what the night before's shadow has never forgotten. There isn't one horrible or amazing thing you've ever done to me that hasn't been expressed almost perfectly in a song by Taylor Swift. If you translated what you just said to me into Dolphin, if you translated what you just said to me into Dolphin and told it to the dolphin who'd been told these things would probably die in a deep sea watery fit of intimate blowhole betrayal as if struck by a thick dagger, lodged deeply beneath the dorsal fin by someone this poor fucked up dolphin had legitimately loved. But that's not gonna happen now. Because the coral has accused you of fucking the translator who refuses to translate, and the dolphin doesn't understand shit without a translator, so what you just said to me remains stranded in English, which means what? I'm the dolphin now? No way. I'm afraid I can't live with that. Can't we plague your bubonic words without leaving onto something else instead? How about an arrogant wiener dog, an elderly herd of water buffalo, or a sentient pear? Excuse me, does anyone in the audience over there speak pigeon? It's such a clumsy bird anyway. Surely you'd rather savagely blender the love of a pigeon into sloppy creamed corn, instead of disintegrating my mental stability of a dumbass yet trusting human being type person, specifically such as myself, who unsequentially loves you. No. Not fucking anyone speaks pigeon then? You said what you said now, and I'm supposed to take this and do what? Your vocabulary is like goddamn punk. Do you know that? You sold your heart to the ocean for a small house in Napa, occupied by a tall douchebag who flips his hair back while taking you away from me. Chirps something that only makes sense maybe underwater. And I just float here, wobbling like shark bait, left to the fate of monolingual dolphins and the sexually straddled chum of shipwrecks and so longs. Dolphin love. There's a book about a guy in the 70s who worked at like a rip-off, SeaWorld rip-off, and fucked a dolphin and fell in love with it, and he wrote and self-published the book.
Yeah, there's a chick who did
Yeah,
it too.
it's It's called Wet Something, and I have an autographed copy.
What autographed by who?
Him. The author. It was he was it's true love. It was true love. He loved the fucking dolphin. And the dolphin loved him, more importantly.
Wasn't there a lady who did too?
Maybe this was like mid-70s.
Yeah. And like they like took acid and smoked to each other and had sex or something.
Well, then there's that movie Splash.
You ever see Tusk too?
They're making a sequel.
What? No way.
It's called Tusks.
How can you make a sequel of something that's part of a trilogy?
He just announced it this week, actually.
That's unsettling.
Well, I hope Johnny Depp's in it.
Yeah. I mean, his penis nose stole the show.
It picks up with him as like the.
Right? Yeah.
French trapper. Johnny Depp's best role.
Besides Dead Man.
All right. And the weird one of Brave. Have you seen that one? I was telling Steve about that one.
Yeah, I like
Most
that
people
one.
haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Marlon Brando's best work.
Right.